Yo, welcome back to Urban Street 420. I'm your host, 40. So today we're going to make weed caramels, baby. Come on over here, let's get started. All right, so we're closer. We're going to start here with the pot. I have the lid on. Inside of here, you'll notice I have 1 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of corn syrup, and 3.5 tablespoons of water. That's it. It's on high heat right now, and we're just going to leave this going for a little bit. After it's been going for a few minutes, we're going to put the candy thermometer in there, and we are going to bring this up to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. So one of the reasons that you want to keep the lid on is for when it condensates, the water will drip down and it will clear the sides of the pot. Because if any of the crystals of the sugar get on the side of the pot and they stick to there, that could create crystallization, and you don't want that, right? So as this is starting to bubble and boil, etc., we will take the lid off in a second and go ahead and put our candy thermometer in there. Again, we're trying to get to 320 degrees. You might be asking yourself, what is this? Well, over here is the other ingredients that you're going to need. We'll get to that in 1 second. Let's go ahead and take the top off. Let's put the candy thermometer here on the side. And this way I can see what the temperature is, right? So as the candy thermometer is reading the temperature, I believe it says it currently is 190 degrees Fahrenheit, it says. Let's talk about the other ingredients. Over here I have 120 milliliters of heavy cream. I have 1 stick of canna butter, which is 113 grams, and that is all combined, liquefied, etc. I have this on a coffee cup warmer. I also dumped in a bunch of FICO, which is going to make it so I have no idea how strong these are going to be because I don't remember what I started with when I made that FICO. So once this gets to 320 degrees, we're going to take it off the stove. We're going to incorporate this mixture slowly while stirring it. The temperature will drop dramatically because number 1, we moved it off the stove. Number 2, this is not warm. I mean, it is a little warm because of the coffee cup warm, but it's not that warm. So the temperature will drop dramatically. In fact, it will go down to like 200 degrees or something like that Fahrenheit. At that point, we are going to put it back on the stove, and we're going to bring it up to 240 degrees. When it gets to 240 degrees Fahrenheit, with this mixture incorporated here, we're going to dump it into our mold. In fact, let's grab that and make that ready. All right, so I thought I'd show you what the sugar looks like boiling. If we come over here, you can see the temperature says it's around 230 degrees Fahrenheit, give or take, right? I put something in here to weigh this parchment paper down so it takes the form of the pan, and here is our heavy cream butter mixture with FICO. That's ready to go in as soon as we get to 320 degrees Fahrenheit here. All right, so we just hit 300 degrees. I've decided that I want to try something different this time. I'm going to try to mix this in at 300 degrees instead of 320. It should make for a softer caramel. I know you guys may not be able to see this, and I can't hold my cell phone as I'm doing this, but as I add this cream and stir, you want to constantly stir. And notice that stream that's coming out. This is growing in size in the pot. You may be able to see in the camera that it is growing. You could definitely smell the cannabis in here. Oof. And the temperature has dropped slowly. And as we continue to add this cream, it is going to continue dropping. Now you want to go ahead and make sure you continue mixing. Do not stop, right? Otherwise you could burn the cream. And we are continuing to slowly incorporate this into our mixture. You want to keep the candy thermometer in there. And by the way, my hand just being over the stove right here is super hot. So as you notice, I'm moving closer to the camera to get away from the stove because it's very hot, huh? All right. So now we're going to take this and try to clear out everything that was in here. There we go. That's looking good. All right. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could make a coffee or something out of the remnants in here, right? But we are going to leave it like so. There we go. Let's mix this up. We'll put it back on the stove. And if I look, it's 180 degrees is the current temperature in Fahrenheit after incorporating this into our mixture, right? So we're just going to keep stirring as this is on the stove now. And we're going to wait till this gets to 240 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, we're going to pour it into the mold. We'll let it sit in the mold for about 30 minutes, and if we want to add some sea salt, that's the point that we could do that, right? And then we let it harden for a couple hours, maybe 3 hours, and at that point we can cut it, and I will see you guys then. You probably could see in the camera that this has risen, right? The mixture inside is much taller as it's bubbling and going crazy inside. That is to be expected. Be careful though. Obviously, if you get any of this mixture on your skin, right, the reality is you are going to get third-degree burns. This is not something you could wash off your skin easily either, because sugar, when that shit is very hot, oof, prepare to go to the hospital. Maybe they're going to graft skin from your ass on your hand or something. So be super careful. We just are getting to 200 degrees right now. And keep in mind, even though to go from 180 degrees to 200, that took whatever amount of time, right now to go from 200 to 220 and 240 will be faster. So you do not have time to walk away. You need to keep stirring this. Now, like I said, don't stir like crazy because it could make this stuff splash up and hit your hand. And I do not want to be the person that happens to. You are definitely going to go to the hospital, so be careful. All right, we just passed in 220. One thing that you'll notice is this is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like airy inside. I guess that's really the best way to say it, is this is like a goop with air inside. And so it's bubbling around inside, and we're getting closer for it to be done. All right, just to show you what it looks like as I'm stirring, you see how it almost like a dough, right? And then if we look at the temperature right now, it's 230, 32, 34, something like that, right? So a couple more degrees, we will take this off the pot, we'll pour it into the mold, and yeah. All right, we're just hitting 240. I'm gonna go ahead and take this candy thermometer out. I'm gonna move this off of the stove real quick, see if we can get whatever's on the candy thermometer off more or less. All right, just so we don't make so much of a mess. Something to this effect. We'll move this into here. Let's turn the stove off because it's super hot. Let's bring this closer and hope that it just pushes everything down in here. There we go. And there is our delicious caramel, right? Now what we need to do is wait about 30 minutes. And the reason we're going to wait 30 minutes is because we're going to put some sea salt in there. And if we put the sea salt in right now, it's going to sink or dissolve into the caramel because the caramel is too hot. In 30 minutes, the top of this caramel will be a bit harder. So when we put caramel on top, it will stay on top. Then we'll wait a couple hours for it to harden. And yeah, what I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to record me putting salt on this. I'm just letting you know in 30 minutes, I'll put salt on the top. Then in a couple hours, I will come back and we will record me taking it out and giving this a try. I will see you guys then, baby. All right, so we're back. It's been about an hour and a half. So I haven't cut it up yet. I just cut one strip and it wasn't even, but I said, you know what? We're just going to take a small piece and try it right now. I'm also going to explain, or let me show you real quick, is you're going to take parchment paper, scissors, you're going to cut up small pieces, and then you could take caramels and you could put them in the parchment paper and you could twist the sides, and now you have these little candies like so. This will make it so you can store it, because the reality is if you stack caramels in a Tupperware or something like that, they will stick together. You won't be able to break them apart. This makes it so you can have single piece use. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give one a try. I have to brush my teeth. I feel like the caramel stuck everywhere. Anyway, when you first put it in your mouth, the reality is that the heat from your mouth will start to make it more malleable or more soft caramel, right? It's not a totally soft caramel, and it's also not a very hard caramel. It's somewhere in the middle. It's the way I like it. Anyways, guys, gals, everybody, I hope you like this recipe. If you did, please give it a try and leave in the comments if you do, right? If you have any questions, let me know in the comments as well. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. You know the deal, baby. Till next time, I'm out.